everyone, and welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk in the Athletic Training Room. I'm your host, Brandon Platt. Appreciate everybody joining us today. We are streaming live on both Instagram Live at Athlete Advice and also streaming live on Facebook. So if you're on either one of those platforms, feel free to stop in, say hello. Love to talk to you. Ask any questions you have, comments that you might have. Um, we just thank you very, very much for joining us. A day late and a dollar short, but this will be available by tomorrow on anywhere that you get your podcasts, as well as on the Athletic Training Room and on Facebook. If you're not part of the Athletic Training Room on Facebook, you should be if you're an athletic trainer. It is the ideal place to be for any news, notes, camaraderie, tips, tricks, whatever you want to make of it on Facebook. And it really is a way for everybody to come together. We're so incredibly blessed to have almost 2,000 members now of the group. We have some great sponsors, including Firefly Recovery, excuse me, Firefly Recovery, as well as Essity, BSN Sports, who are the proud distributors of Coach Tape, Elasticon, and things of that nature. So make sure you give each of those a check each of those out. Recoveryfirefly.com. Also check out the Athletic Training Room for a link to contact Firefly directly to request your samples. And also check out Essity, activemove.us. For them, it's they're really doing some great work as far as the quality of the product, as well as getting the price down for us athletic trainers to be able to give our athletes the best possible care. Last week, we talked about ACLs. We've been talking about injuries a lot. We talked about some foundational stuff from a not-for-profit standpoint with AT Connect Foundation, who's doing some fantastic stuff. So make sure you check out those episodes if you haven't already. Again, available wherever you get your podcasts. Also available in the Facebook group and on YouTube. So make sure you check those out if you haven't already. But today, we'll get away from the injuries stuff a little bit, and this won't be a super long episode, but just some things that we've been thinking about lately that I think relate to all of us as athletic trainers. Whether we're practicing now or we practiced in the past, or we've all kind of experienced this, and that's burnout and depression and anxiety. And if you haven't experienced that, congratulations. But I think it happens to a lot of us, particularly from the burnout side of things. And it can be really hard. And this is probably kind of a heavy topic for a Thursday going into Friday and the weekend. But I think it can be really hard to stay motivated throughout a long season. And I don't mean long season like football's August to January. I don't mean long season like basketball's October to April. I don't mean long season like baseball is January to May or June or whatever. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, especially whether we're in high school or in college or in pro sports, it doesn't matter. Athletic trainer seasons don't end. The season is long. It may have different phases to it, but there's really no end to the season. That's why this episode is entitled "The Long Season of the Athletic Trainer." And when you have that long season, it can be very difficult to stay motivated and not just fall into the pattern of going through the motions. And you really have to find things to keep you motivated, and that can be tough and it can be depressing, and it shouldn't be something to be ashamed of, because I think as much as we look out for the physical and mental well-being of our athletes, and that is obviously paramount to our job, and it is 100% our job description, and nobody, I don't think, is complaining about that. But we also have to look out for ourselves. And I don't mean we need to not work. I don't mean we need to take more time off, although we probably do. I think we need to look out for ourselves in a sense that we have to recognize that this happens, and depression is a thing that happens, and anxiety is a thing that happens, and we hide it well as a profession in general. Maybe this is a touchy subject. To be honest, I really don't care. Um, and I throughout my career, I try to find ways to manage it the best I could. And I think people have different strategies, some healthy, some not. And one thing I saw the other day, and I mentioned this on one of my other um, Instagram accounts if you follow me on multiple accounts. But one thing I saw the other day was a conversation between two actors from the show, The New Girl. I don't know if anybody's familiar with The New Girl. Fantastic show. Check it out. Anyway, I digress. And they were talking about one of the actors had mentioned that he had been going through some depression and dealing with some things during one of the seasons. And one of his co-stars came up to him and simply asked him, "Did you make your bed this morning?" Fairly simple question. Something that we probably don't think about. Some of us probably do, maybe do it regularly. Maybe some of us don't. But he said, "Did you make your bed this morning?" And it was an odd question. And the first actor said, "Well, what are you talking about? Why would you say that?" And the point was, and so the point was, making your bed is it's a placeholder for pretty much anything you want it to be. But when you're going through a tough time, when you're struggling, when you're depressed, when you're burnt out, when you're having trouble finding motivation, sometimes it can be helpful to find the one thing in your life or the one thing that you can do that if you can't control anything else, you can control that. So maybe that's making your bed. Maybe that's cooking breakfast for yourself. Maybe that one thing is going to the gym. Maybe that one thing is reading a new article. Maybe that one thing is learning a new skill. Maybe that new thing is uh you know learning a new tape job. I don't, whatever that happens to be, whatever that means to you. Um what is the one thing? And making your bed is just, it's simple. It's a simple task, but if you completed it and you do it right, that's the one thing that you can do right. When you don't feel like there's anything else that's going right, and you don't feel like, you know, there's anything that you can do to stay motivated or to continue to advance yourself in your career, do that one thing. If you can do that one thing every day, then then you're already successful. And maybe that one thing becomes two things. Maybe those two things become four things. And before you know it, maybe you're back in a groove. Hopefully you're back in a groove. And I think we need that for all of us. In addition to rest and relaxation and recharging and all this kind of stuff to avoid the burnout and the effects of that as ATs who have the long season, right? We talked about the long season being the entire year, to be perfectly frank. And so find the one thing, make it two, and then make it four, and then make it six, and then just make it part of your life. For me, one thing I started doing is I took a notebook, and at times when I felt like I was having trouble remembering everything I actually did for the day. I didn't feel like I really got anything accomplished or whatever it happens to be. And I took a notebook and I just opened it up. And the first page, a brand new notebook, clean notebook. And I just listed out simple things that I did. And it started with waking up. I woke up. I went to the gym. I ate breakfast. I ate lunch. I took the dog for a walk. Whatever it is, and this could be in any profession, really, athletic training, strength conditioning, as a physician, as a business person, whatever it happens to be. And it allowed me to see and reflect on everything that I actually accomplished for the day. And it really helped me realize, like, man, I'm really productive, and I got all this stuff done. Think of what I could do more tomorrow. Think of what I can do. Think of what I can do. And so it's helped me remotivate myself, or at least kind of re-engage with everything I'm actually doing, because sometimes in life, and but regardless of your profession, it becomes monotonous, right? And you kind of need a self reminder. And without even needing validation from anybody else, you need that reminder from yourself that like you're doing something and you're making a difference. And as athletic trainers, we make a difference for people every day, regardless of the setting we're working in, regardless of who we're treating or who we're not treating, regardless if we're doing injury rehab or prevention or we're saving somebody's life. We're making a difference in somebody's life every day, be it physically or emotionally or mentally. And I think it's time that we recognize that we need to make we need to make a difference in our own lives, especially from an emotional and a physical standpoint. So taking care of ourselves is so important. We preach this all the time to each other. We preach this, for the last few years about how important it is to really the self-care of athletic training. We have AT's care and all this kind of stuff, from a mental health standpoint and this and that. But it starts with us individually. And what can you do today to make a difference for yourself? Did you make your bed? Right. And if you can answer that question, mm, I think there's a lot more that you'll realize that you do and that you accomplish. And I think that that can change your entire shift and your mindset. At least it did for me. So hopefully this helps. Like I said, short episode, kind of a deep, heavy episode. But mainly the main thing is just finding that one thing that you can accomplish. And by all means, if you're struggling, please get help. If you're struggling with depression, please talk to somebody. If you're having anxiety issues, please talk to somebody. And it does not mean that you're a bad clinician. It doesn't mean you're bad at your job. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means that you care about yourself and you care about the people around you enough to be able to be the best you can be every single day. So um, open up the discussion about mental health, both outside with athletes and athletes' mental health, as well as within the athletic training room itself, and start taking care of ourselves as a profession, as individuals, and I think we'll all be much better off for it. Um, we'll be back to injury conversations and hopefully some lighter topics next week. But I thought this is really important. Again, thank you for everybody who joined and is watching on Instagram Live at Athlete Advise. Thank you for everybody watching on Facebook, either during the live stream, afterwards. Everybody that's watching on YouTube and/or the Athletic Training Room. Again, if you haven't joined the Athletic Training Room, please do. It is athletic trainers only, athletic trainers, I should say, and students and sports medicine physicians only, but we're very exclusive to who we allow in the group. We keep it a very close-knit community, and we're up to almost 2,000 members now. So thank you, everybody, for the support. Have, again, some great sponsors, Firefly Recovery, Essity, BSN, have been fantastic. Make sure you check them out. And make sure you check out all of our episodes of Coffee Talk in the Athletic Training Room, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks, everybody, and we will talk to you next week.